My friend, if you're dating younger women, listen closely, because one wrong belief can destroy you faster than she ever will. Let's be real, folks. Most older men walk into a connection with a younger woman full of hope, confidence, and a quiet fantasy they never admit out loud. You think she's fascinated by your maturity, impressed by your stability, drawn to your experience. And sometimes she is. But what you don't see, the part that blindsides men your age, is the psychology underneath her behavior. The part she'll never say out loud. The part that flips everything the moment you ignore it. Because here's the truth. Younger women don't think, feel, or choose the way men your age expect. They move with their benefit, their options, their impulses, their emotional storms, their curiosity, and the power dynamic that shifts every time you react without understanding what's actually happening. And that's why so many older men get hurt. Not because these women are bad, but because you walked into the game without knowing the rules. Today, I'm here to put those rules in your hands. Not to scare you, not to judge you, but to prevent you from making the mistakes that destroy attraction, respect, and your peace. If you learn these 10 dark truths, you stop being the man a younger woman tests and become the man she treats differently. Let's get into it. Truth 1. What younger women truly want from older men. Let's be real, my friend. Most older men think younger women want the same things women their age used to want. Stability, decency, a man who treats her right. And while those things matter, they are not the driving force behind why a younger woman chooses to get close to an older man. What she wants, what actually pulls her in, is more nuanced, more psychological, and a lot more self-serving than most men are willing to accept. Younger women are drawn to older men for 3 core reasons: emotional leadership experience that feels grounding, and the masculine calm they can't get from guys their own age. But here's the part most men miss. She doesn't want you because you're older. She wants you because your age is supposed to give you qualities men her age don't have. And if you don't live up to those qualities, she loses interest fast. Let me give you a real example so this hits home. Mark, 58, from Portland, met Riley, 24, at a photography workshop. She immediately loved his presence, the way he spoke slowly, the way he didn't rush, the way he looked, like he'd seen enough of life to not be shaken by small things. To her, he felt like a break from the chaos of dating men her age. That's what younger women crave, a man who feels like a different world, not an older version of the same boys they're used to. But here's what happened. A week later, when Riley started pulling back a bit, not ghosting, just being young, distracted, busy, Mark panicked. He became nervous. He texted too often. He asked if she was upset. His voice shifted from grounded to anxious. And just like that, the illusion shattered. The older man she thought she met disappeared, replaced by someone who acted just like the guys in their 20s. Riley didn't leave because she was cruel. She left because the thing she was drawn to evaporated. You need to understand this. Younger women don't want an older man. They want a man with older man energy. They want the calm. They want the certainty. They want the emotional steadiness. They want the self-control. They want the depth. And yes, they want the subtle dominance of a man who knows who he is. Not dominance in a controlling way, dominance in presence, direction, and confidence. Your age alone doesn't give you this. Your behavior does. When a younger woman chooses you, she's choosing the contrast her body feels around you. She's choosing a version of masculinity she can lean into. And when you lose that contrast, interest drops faster than most older men realize. Let me put it plainly. She wants to feel safe with you. She wants to feel guided by you. She wants to feel challenged by you. She wants to feel feminine around you. She wants to feel something she can't get from younger men. And you don't create that by trying to convince her. You create it by living it. Younger women want older men who can hold themselves together while she figures herself out. She wants your emotional strength to stabilize her emotional chaos. She wants your grounded energy to soften her restlessness. But the moment you need too much, react too fast, or lean too hard, she feels the imbalance and the attraction fades. If this truth hit you, comment, "I know what she wants." Don't go anywhere, because next we're breaking down why younger women always put their benefit first, and why understanding that saves you from heartbreak. Truth 2. Why her self-interest always comes first. Let's get honest here, my friend. Younger women don't operate the way men your age hope they do. They don't move from loyalty first, sacrifice first, or long-term thinking first. They move from self-interest, not because they're bad, not because they're manipulative, but because they're in a stage of life where their identity, their desires, and their future are still shifting. And when someone is still building themselves, their choices naturally revolve around what benefits them right now. Most older men get hurt because they expect younger women to prioritize stability the same way they do. But that's not her psychology. A younger woman is navigating opportunities, attention, career pressure, social influence, and her own emotional evolution. Her world is fast, chaotic, unpredictable, and when her world moves fast, her choices follow that same pace. This is why your expectations need to match reality, not fantasy. Here's where Stoicism gives you clarity. The Stoic teachers understood human behavior long before modern psychology existed. Epictetus said, "People are disturbed not by things but by the views they take of them." When you expect a younger woman to put your needs first, you're creating a belief that will disturb you the moment she behaves like herself. But when you see her nature clearly, you stop being disappointed and start being prepared. You need to understand something critical. Her self-interest isn't personal, it's developmental. You're dealing with someone who is still shaping her identity, not someone who has finished building it. So she will choose people, situations, and experiences that align with what she wants right now, not what makes sense long-term. That's why younger women can love the attention an older man gives, but still drift when something feels uncertain, inconvenient, or misaligned with her lifestyle. It's not betrayal, it's survival. You must stop interpreting her self-interest as disrespect, and you must stop interpreting your generosity as an obligation she must repay. When she pulls back, it's often because her priorities shifted. When she gets distant, it's because something else feels more pressing. When she chooses herself, it's because that's the only person she's certain about. Stoicism teaches you to separate your response from her behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The truth is, she will choose herself." The right move for you is to accept it without collapsing. Why? Because when a woman senses that you can't handle her autonomy, she loses respect. And when she senses you understand her psychology, she relaxes around you. Here's the irony. The more you accept her self-interest, the less she feels the need to protect it. The more you allow her freedom, the more she naturally moves toward you. The more grounded you are, the more her chaos gravitates to your calm. The men who get hurt are the ones who confuse attraction with obligation. Younger women are not obligated to match your level of investment. They are wired to follow what benefits them emotionally, socially, and psychologically at this stage of life. Your job is not to control her choices. Your job is to understand them so you don't take them personally. If this truth hit home, comment, "I see her nature." Let's keep going, because next we're diving into the loyalty shift that blindsides older men, and it's a truth you need to understand before it ever hits you. Truth 3. The loyalty switch she'll never warn you about. My friend, this is the part most older men never see coming. Younger women do not lose loyalty slowly. They don't fade out gently. Their loyalty switches, and when it flips fast. One day she's texting you good morning, laughing at your jokes, leaning into your energy. The next day something feels missing. Something feels off. You feel it in her tone, her timing, her distance, and you're left wondering what you did wrong. Let's be clear. You didn't always do something wrong. What happened is that her internal loyalty system shifted silently. To make this real, let me give you an example. There's a guy named Daniel, 55, divorced, solid career, calm presence. He meets Bella, 26, a bartender from Austin. At first, she's obsessed with him. She loves the way he talks, how he carries himself, how he listens without rushing. For weeks, she's all in. She calls him refreshing, says he's different from guys her age, says she feels safe around him. But younger women live in a world full of emotional stimulation, social media, attention options, distractions, impulses. So one weekend, Bella meets someone new through friends. Not a better man, not a more stable man, just someone who triggers a different emotional spark. And without announcing it, without explaining it, without warning Daniel, her loyalty shifts internally. Daniel feels it before he understands it. Her texts get shorter, her responses get slower, her interest gets colder. And when he finally asks if something is wrong, she says, the line every man has heard at least once, I don't know. Something just feels different. That something is the loyalty switch. Here's the truth most older men don't want to accept. A younger woman's loyalty is emotional, not logical. She does not go where she should. She goes where her emotional system feels the strongest pull. And when that pull changes, her behavior follows instantly. This doesn't make her evil. This doesn't make her heartless. This makes her young. Here's where older men destroy themselves. They try to argue with the switch. They try to reason their way back in. They try to remind her of the good moments. They try to win her loyalty with effort. But younger women don't choose loyalty from effort. They choose loyalty from emotional gravity. And emotional gravity comes from one thing: the way your presence makes her feel. Remember this: a younger woman doesn't commit to you. She commits to the version of herself she becomes around you. When your energy makes her feel feminine, excited, grounded, or wanted, her loyalty strengthens. When your energy becomes anxious, reactive, or needy, her loyalty weakens. The switch flips not when she finds someone better, but when she feels someone else activates her emotions more intensely. You don't control the switch, but you control the man she experiences. And here's the part most men never learn. The more calm, centered, and self-respecting you are when she shifts, the more likely the switch flips back in your direction. If this truth hit you, comment, I control my energy. Stay with me, because next we're breaking down the exact way power changes her attraction and why understanding it is the difference between losing her or leading the dynamic. Truth 4. The power game that controls her attraction. My friend, this is where most older men lose the entire dynamic without even realizing it. With younger women, attraction is not built on logic or compatibility. It's built on power, not domination, not control. Power in the sense of emotional leadership, internal stability, and the quiet confidence that makes her feel she's dealing with a man who cannot be moved by her moods. Younger women don't talk about this game, but they feel it. Every interaction is a subtle measurement. Who reacts first? Who needs validation more? Who gets thrown off balance? Who controls the pace? Let's be straight here. The moment she feels she has more emotional leverage than you, attraction drops. This isn't manipulation, it's psychology. You're older, which means she expects you to have the advantage. And when she discovers that you don't, when she sees you flinch, overtext, seek reassurance, or panic, when her attention shifts, the power game changes instantly, and not in your favor. Stoicism explains this better than anything. Epictetus said, "No person is free who is not master of himself." You become powerless the moment your emotions stop belonging to you and start belonging to her reactions. A younger woman reads your internal state faster than you think. If your confidence depends on how she behaves, she feels it. If your mood changes based on her attention, she feels it. if your self-image improves or collapses depending on her interest. She feels it. And when she senses this imbalance, she instinctively steps into the position you abandoned, the position of power. That's when she becomes unpredictable. That's when she pulls back. That's when she tests you. That's when she gets cold. Not because she wants to break you, but because she no longer feels the strength she was drawn to. Understand something crucial. Younger women don't crave control. They crave polarity. They want a man whose internal gravity pulls them in. They want a man who doesn't chase approval. They want a man who values peace more than attention. They want a man who can walk away from chaos instead of drowning in it. Your calm is power. Your silence is power. Your standards are power. Your self-respect is power. And here's the twist most older men forget. Power doesn't mean indifference. Power means you are anchored, rooted, stoic, unmoved by noise. A younger woman doesn't want you to overpower her. She wants your presence to overpower her insecurities. And when you do that, she follows your lead without resistance. Now, my friend, before we move to the next truth, I want you to know something. If you want deeper insight, private breakdowns, and unfiltered psychology I can't share publicly, consider joining as a channel member. That's where the real teaching happens. If this truth resonated, comment "I hold the power." Stick with me, because next we're diving into the respect rule younger women feel instantly, and it will change the way you carry yourself from this moment on. Truth 5. The respect standard she feels instantly. My friend, let me tell you something most older men never realize until it's too late. Younger women decide whether they respect you within minutes, not months. Respect for them isn't built slowly the way it is for men. Respect is felt. It's instinctive. It's emotional. And once that feeling is either solid or broken, everything that happens after is just a confirmation of what she already sensed. What she feels instantly is not your money, your career, your achievements, or your age. She feels your backbone. She feels whether you're a man who stands on something or a man who bends the moment she pushes. To make this real, let me give you a true-to-life scenario. There's a man named Jeff, 59, from Denver, successful contractor, been through a divorce, solid guy. He meets Chloe, 23, at a gym smoothie bar. She's playful, curious, and instantly intrigued by how calm he is. They talk for 20 minutes, and she's locked in. She even tells her friend later, he's different. He feels like he knows who he is. But here's where everything shifted. On their second date, Chloe teased him about being too serious, and instead of smiling and letting the comment bounce off him, he panicked inside. He leaned forward, started explaining himself, overcompensating, trying to convince her he wasn't boring. From that moment, her eyes changed. Not because she disliked him, but because the calm, grounded man she felt at first was gone. Younger women can sense a man losing self-respect before he even realizes it himself. Here's what you must understand. Respect is not about how you treat her. Respect is about how you treat yourself in front of her. She watches how you handle pressure. She watches how you handle disagreement. She watches how you handle silence. She watches how you handle her mood swings. She watches how you handle her beauty without worshipping it. And the moment she senses you weakening yourself to keep her interested, attraction drops. Not slowly, instantly. You want another example? Fine. A man named Leonard, 62, meets Jasmine, 25, through mutual friends. She loves his experience, his stories, the way he makes her feel feminine. But then one night she gets distant, doesn't text back right away, and Leonard spirals. He double texts. He asks if she's upset. He sends a long message explaining his feelings. She didn't disappear because she was cruel. She disappeared because she saw him lose the respect he had for himself. When a younger woman feels you hold your standard, not aggressively but calmly, she feels safe. She feels guided. She feels polarity. She feels that you're a man she cannot shake emotionally, and that's what creates the kind of respect that intensifies attraction. But when she feels you drop your standards just to stay in her good graces, that respect evaporates. Here's the truth. Most older men refuse to accept. A younger woman respects the man she cannot move. She loses respect for the man she can control. Your tone, your pace, your decisions, your willingness to walk away. These are the pillars she evaluates before she gives you emotional access. If this truth hit you, drop a simple comment, "I hold my standard." Don't go anywhere, because next, we're breaking down the boundary mistake older men keep repeating and why it destroys attraction faster than anything else. Truth 6. The boundary mistake that makes you lose her. My friend, this is the trap that destroys more connections between older men and younger women than anything else. Not jealousy, not age difference, not competition. It's the way you handle your boundaries. Most older men think they have standards, but the second a younger woman shows interest, they soften, bend, and eventually collapse. And she feels it immediately. Younger women do not judge you by what you say. They judge you by what you allow. When your boundaries are weak, she stops trusting your strength. And when she stops trusting your strength, attraction dies quietly, long before she walks away. Let me tell you something real. Younger women push more than women your age. They test more, they challenge more, they bend rules more. Not because they're malicious, but because they live in a world where everything is flexible. Careers, relationships, emotions, identities, options. They're used to fluidity. They're used to men folding. They're used to getting their way with little resistance. So when she meets an older man, she expects the opposite. She expects solidity. She expects self-respect. She expects a man who knows where he stands. And when she discovers you don't, that you'll tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, mood swings, or emotional manipulation because you're afraid of losing her, that's when she loses the very desire that brought her to you in the first place. Stoicism explains this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your boundaries are not about controlling her. Your boundaries are about controlling your response. A boundary is not a threat. A boundary is not a lecture. A boundary is not an argument. A boundary is a behavioral line that you hold without emotion. Here's what most older men get wrong. They set boundaries emotionally. They enforce boundaries inconsistently. And they abandon boundaries the moment she gets upset. Young women don't follow rules written in insecurity. They follow rules written in certainty. A man who knows what he stands on doesn't need to raise his voice. He doesn't need to over-explain. He doesn't need to fight for respect. His presence communicates his standard long before his words do. You lose her not because you didn't set boundaries, but because you didn't hold them. When you allow her to cancel last minute, she respects you less. When you let disrespect slide, she sees you differently. When you accept inconsistent attention, she puts you in a lesser category. When you tolerate chaos, she stops seeing you as a grounding force. The younger she is, the faster she feels this shift. And here's the ironic part. The moment you hold your boundaries calmly, she feels safer. She becomes more feminine. She becomes more cooperative. She becomes more attracted. Because she finally feels she's dealing with a man who can lead her energy, not drown in it. A younger woman does not stay for comfort. She stays for structure. And you destroy structure the moment you choose desire over discipline. If this truth hit you, comment, "I hold my line." Stay tuned, my friend, because next we're talking about the emotional turnoff older men don't see coming, and it pushes younger women away faster than you think. Truth 7. The emotional storm that pushes her away. My friend, here's a truth most older men never see until the relationship is already slipping out of their hands. Younger women don't get pushed away by age, looks, or lifestyle differences. What pushes them away is your emotional volatility. Not anger, not rage. The subtle, quiet, almost invisible emotional storms older men create without realizing it. Younger women feel emotional pressure faster than you think. And when your emotional world spills into hers, she retreats. Let me make this real with a scenario you'll recognize instantly. There's a man named Robert, 61, from Phoenix. Solid career, stable life, responsible guy. He meets Jenna, 25, at a friend's backyard barbecue. She loves his humor, his calm voice, the way he seems unfazed by the chaos around him. That calm is exactly why younger women approach older men in the first place. But here's what happened. A few weeks in, Jenna got busy with work and didn't reply for a day. Robert didn't explode. He didn't yell. He didn't attack her. He did something that feels harmless to most older men. He let his disappointment seep through. His tone changed. His texts got heavier. He started saying things like, "I guess you're too busy for me, and I thought we were closer than this." To him it was honesty. To her it was emotional pressure. Younger women don't leave because you're emotional. They leave because you make them feel responsible for your emotions. Jenna didn't pull back because Robert cared. She pulled back because she felt the emotional weight he put on her shoulders. You must understand this. Younger women are not built to carry your emotional storms. They're still figuring out their own. A younger man can throw a tantrum and she'll laugh it off because she expects chaos from him. But an older man, a man she expects calm from, a man she chose for stability, she feels the shift instantly. Here's another scenario to make it even clearer. There's a man named Matthew, 57, dating Emily, 24. When Emily got distant for a week, Matthew reacted by over-explaining his feelings in long messages, asking what changed, asking if he did something wrong, asking for clarity. He wasn't angry, he wasn't yelling, but his need for reassurance created the same emotional storm. Younger women don't run from conflict. They run from emotional weight that feels out of place. They run from a man whose emotions rise faster than hers. They run from a man who depends on her stability instead of providing his own. They run from a man who uses vulnerability as pressure instead of connection. Here's the truth. Most men overlook. Your emotional intensity feels heavier because you're older, and that heaviness can suffocate her attraction if you don't control it. A younger woman needs an older man to be the grounding force, not the emotional storm. She wants to feel your steadiness when she's overwhelmed. She wants to feel your certainty when she's unsure. She wants to feel your calm when she spirals. When you react emotionally, even subtly, she feels the polarity flip, and once that happens, attraction drains quietly just like that. If this truth hit you, comment "I stay grounded." Don't go anywhere, because next we're breaking down the scarcity effect younger women feel instantly and why it makes them chase the man who knows how to use it. Truth 8. The scarcity trigger that makes her chase. My friend, here's a truth. Older men often underestimate until they watch a younger woman slip right out of their hands. Attraction doesn't rise from logic, promises, or compatibility. For younger women, it rises from something far simpler and far more powerful: scarcity. Not artificial distance, not games. Pure psychological scarcity. The sense that you are not easily accessed, not easily influenced, and not easily owned. Younger women live in a world overflowing with attention. They're surrounded by men who give too much, share too fast, and chase too eagerly. Nothing feels rare. Nothing feels earned. Nothing feels like it has weight. So the moment she meets a man who is steady, present, and warm, but not overly available, she feels something unfamiliar in her body. She feels the urge to move toward him. Most older men kill this instinct before it even has a chance to grow. They think their age means they must compensate. They think the only way to keep a younger woman interested is to offer more time, more reassurance, more effort, more everything. But the more you offer without intention, the less impact it has. Scarcity is not about withholding. It's about being a man with a life so complete, that she can feel the difference between when she has your attention and when she doesn't. It's about showing her that your world doesn't collapse just because she steps into it. When your schedule remains full, your purpose stays prioritized and your emotional balance remains intact. Despite her shifts, she feels the contrast that younger men cannot give her. Stoicism understood this long before modern psychology. Seneca once said, "We become more valuable when we are less available." He wasn't preaching coldness, he was explaining human nature itself. People desire what feels meaningful, and meaning comes from rarity. A younger woman feels scarcity when you offer attention with intention instead of flooding her with availability. She feels it when your presence is decisive and grounded, not scattered. She feels it when you stay calm as she moves through her moods. She feels it when your life continues with or without her involvement. This is the kind of scarcity that makes her lean forward instead of step back. The key is authenticity. If you pull back to manipulate her, she will sense it instantly. Younger women are extremely sensitive to emotional games, but when your discipline, your routines, and your self-respect create natural limits around your availability, she responds with genuine curiosity. She wants to know more. She wants closer access. She wants the version of you that isn't handed out freely. Scarcity works because it clarifies value. She doesn't chase absence. She chases what absence reveals. When you stop trying to fill every moment with attention, she becomes the one who fills the silence. When you stop offering the emotional reassurance she hasn't earned, she starts offering more of her own. When you stop showing up instantly, she starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and why she's thinking about you more than she expected. A younger woman falls hardest for the man who cannot be rushed, the man who cannot be shaken, and the man whose life remains meaningful without her input. If this truth hit home, comment, "I create value." Stay tuned, because next, we're breaking down the real reason she suddenly pulls back and understanding that truth will save you from chasing what was never leaving in the first place. Truth 9. Why younger women pull back so suddenly. My friend, this is the moment that blindsides most older men. Everything seems to be going well. She's warm, responsive, excited, affectionate. Then, out of nowhere, she shifts. She pulls back. She gets quieter, slower, less predictable. And you sit there wondering what happened, replaying every detail in your head, convinced you must have done something wrong. But the truth is far simpler and far more psychological. Younger women pull back suddenly, not because they stop liking you, but because their emotional system reacts faster than yours. They live in a world full of stimulation options and internal conflict. And the moment the energy feels too intense, too serious, or too demanding, they instinctively take space to rebalance. To make this real, let me give you a scenario you'll recognize instantly. There's a man named Chris, 58, from Chicago. Successful, stable, confident in most areas of life. He meets Haley, 23, at a concert downtown. She loves his maturity, his voice, the way he moves like nothing shakes him. For 2 weeks, she's fully invested. She texts him first, sends selfies, laughs at everything he says, and talks about seeing him again. But then something shifts. One night after a great date, Chris sends a long message telling her how much he enjoyed the evening and how good it feels to have her in his life. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't clingy, it wasn't over the top. But for her emotional system, it was too much too soon. Younger women are incredibly sensitive to emotional pacing. When they feel the energy accelerating faster than they can process, they instinctively tap the brakes. So the next day she replies, slower, shorter, less engaged. Not because she lost interest, but because she needs to step back to regulate the pace. Haley's reaction isn't rejection, it's recalibration. Here's another example. A man named Patrick, 61, dates a younger woman named Mia, 25. She loves his confidence, and the way he doesn't act desperate like the men her age. But after a few intense conversations, Patrick begins opening up emotionally, expecting emotional depth in return. To him, that's connection. To her, it feels like pressure. Younger women don't pull back because you're emotional. They pull back because they feel responsible for your emotions. And responsibility kills attraction faster than anything. So why does this happen so often with older men? Because older men move with intention. You know what you want. You don't have time for games. You communicate clearly. But younger women are still exploring. They're still forming an identity. They're still figuring out their emotions, not committing to them. A sudden pullback is almost always triggered by one of three internal shifts: a fear that things are moving too fast, a moment where she feels emotionally exposed, a spike in anxiety about whether she can match your stability. And here's the irony: the more calm and grounded you are during her pullback, the more she comes back on her own. When she pulls back, don't chase. When she withdraws, don't panic. When she gets distant, don't over-explain. Your steadiness becomes the very thing that pulls her back. Younger women test emotional gravity without realizing it. They step back to see if your world collapses or stays in place. And when they see you're still centered, still grounded, still moving through your life, the respect returns, the attraction rebuilds, and the dynamic resets. If this truth made things clearer, comment "I stay centered." Stay with me, because the final truth will show you the Stoic mindset that protects you from every emotional shift she will ever throw your way and makes you the man she can't let go of. Truth 10. The Stoic identity that makes you irresistible. My friend, before we wrap this up, I want you to understand one thing. Clearly, younger women aren't drawn to older men because of age. They're drawn to identity. Not the identity you present on a good day, not the identity you talk about, but the identity you live in every moment. And nothing shapes that identity more powerfully than a Stoic mindset. Younger women feel your internal world long before they understand it. They feel your center. They feel your restraint. They feel your emotional independence. They feel the difference between a man who's shaped by the world and a man who shapes himself. That difference is what makes you irresistible, not loud masculinity, not bravado, not chasing, not overperformance, just presence rooted in self-mastery. A Stoic identity starts with calm, but not passive calm, purposeful calm. The kind of calm that comes from knowing you don't need her attention to validate your worth. Younger women can sense whether your discipline is real or performative. And when it's real, when it comes from your core, it changes everything about how she responds to you. Stoicism gives you the one thing younger women crave more than anything: emotional gravity. The ability to stay rooted when she storms, to stay focused when she distracts herself, to stay balanced when she pulls back. Not because you're cold, but because you're guided by the same principle Marcus Aurelius lived by. You have power over your mind, not outside events. A younger woman melts for a man who lives that truth without announcing it. The Stoic identity also rejects desperation. You don't overinvest. You don't rush. You don't attach your peace to her inconsistency. You care, but you don't cling. You connect, but you don't collapse. You offer presence, but you don't abandon your purpose. This balance makes your energy feel rare, and rarity is magnetic. What most older men get wrong is believing they need to match a younger woman's emotional speed. But the men who thrive with younger women aren't the ones who keep up. They're the ones who slow the entire dynamic down just by being themselves. Your steadiness becomes the emotional anchor she didn't even realize she was searching for. A Stoic identity also protects you from the traps that destroy most older men: jealousy, overthinking, fear of losing her, insecurity about the age gap, trying too hard to prove your value. When your self-worth is built internally, none of that noise gets inside. And that's when your presence becomes powerful. Younger women are surrounded by chaos, social pressures, emotional swings, shifting values, endless digital distractions. When she meets a man whose identity isn't shaped by that chaos, she feels a level of safety she cannot manufacture on her own. And safety, real safety, is the quiet foundation of attraction. She doesn't chase the man who reacts. She chases the man who remains himself. She chases the man whose emotions aren't for sale. She chases the man whose life moves with or without her attention. That's the essence of a Stoic identity. You don't try to be irresistible. You simply live in a way that naturally draws her in. This is the final truth because it's the truth that holds all the others together. If you master this, you don't have to worry about her tests, her pullbacks, her moods, her confusion, her options. You become the calm in her storm, the stability in her chaos, the grounding force in her uncertainty. You become the man she can't replace, and the man she doesn't want to lose. My friend, today you learned the 10 dark psychological truths about younger women that most men never figure out until it's already too late. You now understand why they pull back suddenly, why their loyalty shifts, why scarcity matters, and how your Stoic identity becomes the foundation of every connection you build with them. If you apply this, you stop getting blindsided and start leading with clarity, calm, and self-respect. If you want deeper training, private lessons, and the unfiltered breakdowns I can't share publicly, consider joining as a channel member. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching, my friend. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.